I couldn't feel any worse. As you wish.
The Dwindling Dilemma. Unraveling the inaugural supervillain involves delving into the early days of DC Comics, characterized by a fusion of science fiction, fantasy, and crime narratives that spotlighted a plethora of Golden Age gangsters and criminals. In a chronological analysis, Ares emerges as a viable candidate, as the earliest character associated with DC, but he was an ancient god with his narrative intertwined with that of DC's Wonder Woman. Similarly, Solomon Grundy used to be a nursery rhyme character, but writers from DC envisioned him into a zombie supervillain. Even other public domain characters like Dracula were used as a foe in DC. So this burning question has plagued the fans for ages, as who exactly is the first DC supervillain? So my fellow comic book historians, let's delve into the rich lore of DC supervillains in order to make out who came first. But before we begin, we have a small request. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. It is a small click from you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you.
John, don't!
The final contenders to the title. During the golden age of comic books in 1935, Dr. Occult made his debut in DC Comics as an occult detective and magic-wielding private investigator. In his initial major quest, he confronted the supervillain Koth. Arriving on Earth during the Stone Age with alien companions, Koth was the lone survivor of a caveman massacre, fostering a deep-seated hatred for humans. This event transformed him into a supernatural supervillain, targeting the souls of sinful humans and aiming to dismantle civilization with his malevolent intentions. However, Koth did not become a recurring character and faded into obscurity, only to resurface in an issue 50 years later. Even the evil scientist Ernest Smalley from 1933's The Reign of the Superman doesn't qualify the bill, as he was not published under DC, although he was used as a prototype template for supervillains in the subsequent comic book eras. But then, in June 1939, in the pages of Action Comics issue number 13, debuted a supervillain who would stand the test of time and has appeared in the funny pages till date. Created by Superman's creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, he was none other than the Ultra-Humanite, DC's first recurring supervillain. Secret origins. Initially known as Ultra, he served as the antithesis to Superman. Conceived as a villainous mad scientist who, unlike the hero's superhuman strength, was paralyzed from the waist down and reliant on a wheelchair. His grand aspiration was the domination of the Earth. Depicted as nearly bald or completely bald in various portrayals, he was a mental giant heading a vast network of evil enterprises, characterized by fiery eyes burning with terrible hatred and sinister intelligence. His true name remained undisclosed in his initial origin. Born from a scientific experiment that had bestowed upon him the most agile and knowledgeable brain on Earth. Subsequently, Ultra-Humanite evolved into a recurring character within Superman's narrative. His concluding Superman appearance occurred in Action Comics issue number 21 in 1940, seemingly marking his demise, and he remained absent from comic book pages for several decades. Lex Luthor then took on the role of Superman's primary arch-villain, succeeding Ultra-Humanite in this antagonistic capacity. However, it is to be noted that Lex Luthor fell into the same template of a bald mad scientist who was a foe to Superman and had the same sinister goals in life. Comeback and retcons. Within the establishment of DC's multiverse system, the continuity of Golden Age Superman tales and the Ultra-Humanite experienced a retrospective shift to Earth 2, the domain of DC's Golden Age characters. The Ultra-Humanite was reintroduced during the Silver Age as a recurring foe in the Mr. and Mrs. Superman segment within the Superman Family anthology comic. The Crisis on Infinite Earths limited series in 1985-86 resulted in the formation of one single Earth. Superman's narrative underwent a reimagining in the Man of Steel miniseries, resulting in the removal of Earth 2's Superman from the storyline, who was trapped in the Paradise Dimension. The Ultra-Humanite was subsequently omitted from Superman's overhaul, with his post-crisis storyline remaining rooted in the 1940s and interconnected with the Justice Society of America and All-Star Squadron. Post-crisis demise. In 2002's Stealing Thunder story arc, in JSA's issues 32 through 37, the Ultra-Humanite unfolded his most elaborate scheme. Seizing control of the elderly Johnny Thunder's body, he manipulated Jakeem Thunder into relinquishing his magical pen. Harnessing the nearly omnipotent Thunderbolt's abilities, the Ultra-Humanite rejuvenated his own form and set in motion a plan for global domination. Earth underwent a transformation into a unified consciousness, with almost every metahuman acting as an extension of the Ultra-Humanite. Several heroes resisted his influence, including Jakeem Thunder, Captain Marvel, Hourman, the third Crimson Avenger, Power Girl, Sand, and the second Icicle. When the reserve JSA temporarily disrupted the Thunderbolt, the Ultra-Humanite was seemingly slain by the Crimson Avenger in retaliation for the first Crimson Avenger's demise. The Infinite Crisis and the Revelation. Yet it appears that supervillains possess an uncanny knack for survival. The narrative of Infinite Crisis event shattered the DC universe into 52 parallel realities. A year later, the Ultra-Humanite's covert origin underwent a revision, shedding more light on his earlier life as the exceptional youth Gerard Schugel, an homage to Superman's creators Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. Endowed with an intellect surpassing the world's most brilliant minds, Gerard grappled with a degenerative ailment slowly consuming him. Utilizing his brilliance, he sought ways to combat the disease and explored avenues for transplanting his brain into a healthy body. Teaming up with the daring Satana during their college days, they delved into the realms of brain transplantation and animal hybridization technologies. Circumstances led them to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where they confronted challenges from rebel forces and the military. In an extraordinary twist, Satana transplanted Gerard's brain into the altered body of an albino gorilla. Their initially intimate relationship took a different turn as they went their separate ways for an extended period. This albino gorilla avatar of Ultra-Humanite has been left untouched since. In this form, he created the new secret society of supervillains. Even when Ultra-Humanite has jumped bodies over time, this version stays primary and iconic. The Ultra-Moral Code. Afflicted by a slowly debilitating disease, Ultra-Humanite found himself grappling with mortality. Despite being a brilliant scientist, he recognized that, according to the theory of survival of the fittest, others would endure while a mind as brilliant as his would inevitably succumb to death's cold embrace. However, fueled by his belief in his intellectual superiority over humans, he yearned for continued existence. But then Superman appeared as humanity's champion, radiating hope and kindness and love and benevolence, a being with flight and superhuman strength. Consumed by jealousy, Ultra developed a profound apathy towards humankind and Superman, fostering a desire to control those around him. Driven by this, he sought ways to transfer his consciousness into healthier bodies, enabling him to conceal himself and proceed with his plan for world domination, the legacy he envisioned for himself. The Ultra powers and abilities. In the pre-crisis version, Ultra-Humanite emerged as an exceptional scientist, exceeding the confines of conventional intelligence, with some accounts proposing that his brilliance surpassed even that of Lex Luthor. His primary approach involved transferring his intellect into different bodies, a process he honed over the years. Armed with medical knowledge, he seamlessly conducted brain transplants across diverse species, from humans to gorillas to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, without encountering rejection issues. In his gorilla form, he commanded others and wielded superhuman strength, while his Tyrannosaurus Rex incarnation possessed both superhuman strength and durability. In the 1940s, he adopted the guise of Dolores Winters, a captivating actress, businesswoman. As Winters, he utilized the Power Stone, an extraterrestrial gem providing energy for various effects, transforming individuals like Terry Curtis into Cyclotron and Jake Simmons into Deathbolt. Adept in hypnosis, telepathy, and mind control, he once simultaneously implanted a suggestion in the minds of nearly all members of Infinity Incorporated. His albino gorilla avatar exhibited telekinesis and flight. Additionally, he was an inventor of numerous advanced weapons, vehicles, and other arcane technologies. Proficient in scientific techniques for bestowing superpowers upon ordinary humans, Ultra-Humanite even possessed the ability to cure cancer. The sole limitation lay in his transmigration ability, as the human hosts he occupied would deteriorate after an unspecified duration, unable to sustain his formidable intellect. The Ultra avatars in comics. In addition to being a paraplegic scientist, a captivating socialite, a dinosaur, and an albino gorilla, the Ultra-Humanite assumed various other forms. In the 1991 Justice Society of America issue number 3, he took a more humanoid appearance with gorilla-like features, notably marked by a red unitard, a cape, and a yellow U belt buckle. In the semi-canon Golden Age Limited series, it was disclosed that after World War II, the Ultra-Humanite transferred his consciousness into the body of Tex Thompson, the Americommando. Thompson capitalized on the hero's reputation in a bid for the post-war presidency. The 1997 Legends of the DC Universe numbers 1 through 3 revisited the Ultra-Humanite's origins as scientist Morgan Wilde, the inventor of mind transference technology. Seeking revenge on Lex Luthor for his wife's murder, Wilde sought to undermine LexCorp from within, first as employee Edward Carlisle and then as Drake, Luthor's chief of security, before making a daring escape. In the 1999 Superman/Batman Generations series, set in an alternate reality, it was unveiled that Lex Luthor was indeed the Ultra-Humanite throughout. Following the New 52, the Ultra-Humanite underwent a reimagination as a monstrous alien creature in the 2014 Action Comics issue number 37 through 39. Trapped in the Phantom Zone, he manifested as a potent telepathic being, a grotesque fusion of beasts featuring a writhing mass of tentacles and a gorilla-like skull. In Earth 2 Society issue number 12 through 16's One Nation arc, a surviving Ultra-Humanite from Earth 2 manipulated lost children, including John Grayson, using them as soldiers. Hawkgirl defeated defeated him with the Amazonian casket, a crucial element in his plan to conquer Earth 2. In the 2021 Superman and the Authority #3, the Ultra-Humanite fused his brain into Solomon Grundy's body to confront Superman. In Batman, the Brave and the Bold tie-in comic series issue #3, Ultra-Humanite appeared in his albino gorilla form. He utilized multiple ape hosts to evade confusion with Lex Luthor. His attempt to attack the US president was foiled by Batman and Green Arrow. In Tangent, Superman's Reign issues 3 and 4, an alternate reality Ultra-Humanite was a Soviet-created humanoid weapon who spiraled out of control. Initially thought defeated by Tangent Superman, it's later revealed that he was preserved and reprogrammed for the Tangent Superman's cause, to be ultimately destroyed by the collaborative efforts of Tangent Batman and New Earth Superman. In Young Justice tie-in comic series issue #19, Ultra-Humanite is revealed to be a version originating from an elderly woman whose brain underwent transplantation into an albino gorilla. Footprints in other media. In Batman the Brave and the Bold, short-named The Creature Commandos in the Turf War That Time Forgot, Ultra-Humanoid was shown embodied in an albino Tyrannosaurus. He was depicted as a brain in a mobile robotic jar, capable of possessing others. While aiding the Axis powers in World War II with mind-controlled dinosaurs, he captured Batman but was ultimately thwarted. In the Justice League animated series, Ultra-Humanite is depicted in his albino gorilla form. This version is a cultured and intellectual villain with a fondness for classical music and a disdain for modern art. Unlike the comic version, he shows a more benevolent side, helping heroes for personal reasons. In the Young Justice animated series, he appeared as an albino gorilla and a mentor to Dr. Helga Jace. He eventually replaced Brain as a member of the Light. During Stargirl's 3rd season, Ultra-Humanite appeared in his albino gorilla form. This version acted as a foe to the original JSA and was an ally of the Dragon King. Apart from all these appearances, Ultra-Humanite also appeared in multiple video games as a playable character. Marvelous verdict. So, my fellow aficionados of comic book history, the next time someone raises the question about who might be the first supervillain in DC Comics, you can confidently tell them about Ultra-Humanite and drown them with the wealth of information presented in this video. Stay tuned for more coveted comics history in our upcoming videos. Until then, continue to like, share, and subscribe.